Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the TechNet vlog. Thank you so much for all the likes, the comments, the questions, the shares. So today, we are looking at an on-demand request, and that is signs one is to show one is ready to take or ready for the exam and recommended resources. So, just a kind reminder, we are not sponsored by IIBA, PMI, or Scrum.org. We are just sharing our knowledge, resources we use during our own exams to help Scrum Masters, business analysts, or even project managers become better practitioners on the field. Okay, so we encourage you also to look at all the uploads we've had in the past that could also help you as well. So today we are going to look at signs you to show that you're ready for your BA exam, and also we are going to delve into recommended resources. Yes, we know that you may have been preparing for your BA exam for quite some time now, and you don't know, like, you don't have that confidence or that pointer or direction to tell you, okay, you're ready, go take the exam or go register for the exam. So that is what we are going to explore today, and we hope this comes to be of good use to you. So we are going to look at refresher. We have so many videos on business analysis. Whether is it to prepare for your exam? Is it like audio, like telling you about all about the BABOK? We encourage you to look at that. Also, we're going to look at signs I'm ready to take the exam. Then we're going to look at recommended resources, and then what's next for you to do. So starting off from here, okay, let's blow this up a bit. For this, we would like to start with the support end, just telling you that for you to take your business analysis exam, it requires a lot of commitment from your own end, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it is you taking away some time from work, to take the exam. You have to commit hugely towards this exam, okay? Then strategy, you have to be strategic with everything you do, whether it's your time, whether it's how you are studying for the exam, how you are thinking, even while you're taking the exam and all whatnot. Dedication, it requires your dedication. Then hands on. So we want to encourage you to see business analysis or business problems in everything that you do. Okay, be practical about it, because some element of the exam or the exam requires you to have some technical knowledge of technicalities or practicalities when it comes to taking or be your business analysis exam. Okay, that also is spelled out in the BABOK as well. So emotional and psychological strain, stress, whether it's requirement, that it requires it for you because you are sitting for long hours, you are studying for long hours. Okay, so there is the tendency that you would be emotionally drained or psychologically like tired times. Then continuous learning and development. This is just what IBA requires of you. Even after taking the exam, it doesn't mean you stop reading or you stop attending webinars or even attending conferences. It has to do so much with continuous learning. Okay, so also it's part of why am I taking this exam? Am I just pivoting in my career, or am I just trying to know more about business analysis? So you need to ask yourself that question. So next is for you to check out detailed YouTube videos to help you also in the resources you need to prepare for the exam, resources you need to become better practitioners on the field. Okay, let's go to the topmost, and that is for every issue as a BA, you have to do some stuff. So you have to do the following. First of all, when you meet a business problem or issue, the first step you have to take is to investigate. You don't just jump right into solving the issue. Also the same for when you are going through your simulators, or when you are on the job or on the field, or even when you're taking your exam or even any exam. The first thing you have to do is to investigate the issue that is brought forward to you. Then you analyze it, okay, to get a better understanding. Then you evaluate. Then you now consult maybe be your end users, or be your SME. Then you make your recommendations. It is your work to make recommendations. It is not your work to tell the business area this is what you have to do. Just follow this path. Okay, you just recommend, give them options. Okay, these I've found this out. Or this is a problem. These are the options we have. Okay, have them get make up their mind on which one they want to go with. Then you go ahead to get your approval even after your stakeholders, they've picked their choice or they picked what they want. Then you now then go ahead to implement. Okay. Now, how to use an elimination method. I know in the simulator, you would also see like some questions like that are closely knitted, like they look similar, and you don't know like how to go about answering those questions. The first thing is for you to read in between lines or in between words. Okay, to get the understanding of the question and even the options that are provided for you. Watch out for primary words like primary, mostly, least likely, or not, whether it is from the question or even from the options that are provided to you. Okay. No, for me, I don't like going for answers that give me like a general general response to a question. Okay, all of these apply, all those stuffs. Okay, I want to be technical because this exam is taken out from BABOK, and I would always ask myself, what does BABOK say in this scenario, in this case? Okay, when you have two or three answers saying no in different ways, go for the yes and vice versa. So you have a question that asks you something, and the options provided, they look so similar, like they are all saying, okay, for example, you want to cross a bridge, and one question says jump into the water, the other question will say step into the water, the other question will say, okay, splash some of the water on your legs. Are they not pointing you to get into the water? But at the same time, they are not providing you an alternative on how to cross over to the other side. Okay, so you have to pick the one that tells you how to, gives you like an idea of how to cross over to the other side without stepping into the water and all whatnot. So I hope I'm making sense. So just to reiterate what I just said, read the answers clearly and see when three answers are saying the same thing. Choose the odd one out. So you have some of the questions you may see during your simulator times, or even during the exam. I know they put it out, or they spelt it out, that you have cases like a long line of maybe scenario, and they would now ask you three or three questions from that, and they expect you to answer that. Okay, so the best way, or one of the ways you can go at it, or you can look at it, is what time do you have? How much time do you have? If you have good time in your hands, you can as well read everything. But if not, you can just read the topic sentence, then you look at the last paragraph. Okay, then also it's important you know your tools, terms, input, output, and techniques. Very, very important. And so that's just that for our refresher. You can also check our YouTube channel for more of these like detailed refreshers or detailed videos on how you can go about answering your exam questions or even your simulator questions. So here we have our readiness checklist or our readiness check. And you see a yes and a no. So it is now left for you. This is a moment of truth. It is now left for you to say, okay, I think I have my strengths here. Okay, I think I have my weakness here. And you now, after you tick of this, you now like tell yourself, okay, are my strengths way more than my weaknesses, or are my weaknesses way more than my strength? And you know where to work on. Okay, then when you have all the yes in the row, you know you are ready for the exam. Starting from the first, you know the BABOK guide in and out, inside and out. In fact, there is no let's say maybe no, you have to know the Bible guide in and out. So you read it at least twice. I think during my exam I read it more than twice. So you read it twice, at least twice, not just skimming it. You've studied Babok in and out. Okay, then you understand all six knowledge areas and can link techniques to each. So you have the individual techniques and all whatnot for each knowledge area. So you know all those. Okay, you can apply concepts, not just memorize terms. So that's why I'm like, you have to know Babok in and out. Okay, so the second is you can confidently explain key concepts. We have key concept areas or key concepts for each one. So you can describe what requirement elicitation is all about. You can describe what analysis and validation and all whatnot, what they mean in your own words. These are very important. We have videos on all of this. Okay. You can check those out. You can differentiate between requirements, needs, stakeholders, and solutions. You can apply techniques like SWOT, use cases, or even process modeling to real world examples. So we're telling you real world examples because you may not even be like your role may not spell out business analysis, okay? But what you do has one or two things connected to business analysis. Okay, so that is why we are like, okay, putting this in real life scenario would be very, very good for you while studying. So the third is you are scoring well on practice test. I know you will sit 90 there, but I feel that that is the best. Like I raised this benchmark because yeah, some people will tell you 75%, 70, 80, 85. No, honestly, I would suggest 90, 90 and above. So you consistently score 90 or higher on mock exams or quizzes. Very important because it will give you that level of confidence, that level of assurance that you are getting this and you know what you know. And by the time you've hit number one, number two, and you are in number three, you know what you know already. It means that you've read BABOK as much as possible, as much as necessary. You know that you can explain the key concept, you know all those words, you know all those use cases and all whatnot, stakeholders and solutions. And now you are trying to test yourself, right? So you should be hitting 90 or higher. So you understand why you got each question right or wrong. This is extremely important and shouldn't be overlooked. So, whatever you failed, please go back to it. Whether it's on the simulator, know why you failed it. Then go back to BABOK and read up that area so that you have an understanding. So, it's not about getting 90, but getting 90 confidently. 90 and above. So you are simulating timed exam conditions to build focus and pacing. So you are not just studying, you're not just doing the simulators, but you are doing it as though you are taking the actual exam. So IBA would provide you or provides you some information on their handbook. So I suggest you read those or you read that. Then while you are doing your simulators, please do it as though you're doing the exact exam. Stay on a desk, cleared. Try to time yourself. Try to have that sense of discipline as well. Okay, so it's you are kind of preparing yourself psychologically, emotionally for the exam, which would be of good use to you. Now, you have a study plan. Yes, that this is should be your number one plan or the number one thing you need to tick off, okay? Because that is what gives the foundation to whatever you need to do for the exam. So you followed a structured study schedule or plan for several weeks or months. That means for several weeks or months, you've been reading or studying the BABOK, you've been following your plan, you have a structure. You've allocated time for revision and mock test. You've planned like when you're going to do your revision, when you're going to do your plan test. You are no longer cramming, you are reviewing. Yes, at this point, you know everything on your fingertips and you are just reviewing, like you're no longer cramming, okay, at this point. So let's move on. So the next is you know the exam format and timing. Still directing you back to IIBA's website, okay, to read up about the exam and the requirement, what they require from you. So you understand how many questions, how long you have, and what the exam styles look like. So this would be provided by IIBA for you on their website. You practice navigating IIBA's online exam platform or your testing provider. So like it also gives you the avenue to practice, like okay, there are some things you need to do on your system. When you are going through their handbook, they also tell you requirement for the exam, okay, how you can prepare yourself, your area and all whatnot. You've also can check YouTube as well. So you've learned to manage time so you don't rush at the end. Please, you don't need to rush during the exam. It's better you have, because you need to know like how many questions you'll be answering during the exam, how the time you can allocate to each question, and once you pass that time, you're moving to the next question. So that is why time management is like the number one thing you need to get right here. You've reviewed real world BA scenarios. So real world BA scenarios can be in any line of work. Okay. So far as there is a business problem. So you can relate BABOK concept to actual business problems. You are able to relate like you having, okay, not having some items in the office and you need to get those items, and you can actually relate, okay, creating options for those getting those items. This is a like a typical BA scenario. Okay. You can identify the right technique for a given situation. So you already know the technique you are going to use for a given situation. You've done case studies or discuss examples with other BAs. Please, it's very important to practice your case studies over and over and over again. Get used to them. Okay, those provide you with practical real life scenario of what BAs do, or maybe you can even go out of your way to have discussions, okay, with other BAs, okay. Now, there's something else, okay, that is very, very important. When taking the exams, you can also discuss this with other BAs, okay, rub minds, brainstorm, and all whatnot. So you feel calm, not panicked. So you are confident with your prep. So at this point, you've gotten to the seventh step. You are so confident with what you've done or what you've been doing. You've gone through all the steps and you don't feel overwhelmed. Yes, bubble can really, really feel look over make you feel overwhelmed because it's quite bulky, but by the time you read it the first time, I think I provided a video on how to go through babok actually, so you can look that up. For each of these steps, I think I provided videos related to them, so you can always check out our uploads. They will be of good use to you. So you're not feeling overwhelmed because you've skimmed, you scanned Babok, you've then gone into studying Babok, okay? You are now you've been doing your simulators and you are hitting a 90. So you don't feel overwhelmed. The only thing is just for you to cross check what you know, you feel maybe you've forgotten or stuff like that. So you can explain BA concept to others easily, a clear sign of mastery. One of the ways of learning is also trying to explain to people, like maybe having a study group. Each of you will pick a topic and each person explains and all whatnot. It will be very, very important because as you're explaining, you are listening to yourself. You know what you can do and what you can't do. Now you are reviewing, not learning everything from scratch. So at this point, you are reviewing, you're not trying to read Babok from the scratch or anything. And once you hit the seven steps, the seventh step, and it is all a yes and no no's, I suggest you go ahead to register for the exam and take the exam. Remember, this is a recommendation, this is a suggestion, okay? So the next is our resource page. Still saying that none of these those mentioned here have sponsored us or anything, or we are not advertising for any of these groups or any of these schools. We are just providing resources that we use to take our own exams and support that helped us to prepare for our exams and gave us that real life BA scenario. So number one still is your IIBA BABOK. Okay, you have to read it in and out, know it in and out. You're not just reading; you are studying. Remember. Then second is virtual class. So for me, I went with Certification Edge, and they really, really helped us a lot in the sense that they gave us real life scenarios. We even practiced during the classes. We even had WhatsApp group where we had our like our, I think, a Slack group, yeah, not a WhatsApp group, where we had our practices. They send us journals, articles, and all whatnot. Also online, you have online paced class. Some of us, we don't have the time to spend 3 days going for an online class, but we can do self-pay maybe on Udemy or Coursera. And one good thing about virtual led class is that you have someone there teaching you. You are able to ask questions and they respond to you in real time. Okay. Then study groups as well helped me a lot. Then another thing is YouTube. YouTube, you have tons of free resources on business analysis. You should utilize them. Okay, I know some people that didn't even have to get any simulator, they utilize YouTube. So you have Q&A. I know I use Q&A by Liu on YouTube, and I know there was one by Genesis. I think he had classes that he uploaded on YouTube. Then I know Education Edge. It's really helped me to understand business analysis requirements, analysis and design definition. Like I listen to it over and over and over again to get a good grasp of that. Then I know I came across IBA Island Study Group chapter. There, it helped me a lot. And also I know that one of the advantages I leverage on their class, on their study group class. I also leverage on their Watermark question QA section, because I know that they actually were solving Watermark over and over again on the videos they uploaded. So I didn't have to pay for Watermark. So I viewed whatever they solved, how they solved it, and the reason they got it, and all whatnot. So it was of great use to me. So also I know people also recommended Watermark as well. Then another is you also have your summary sheet. So your summary sheet is, even after BABOK, is your second study guide, because this is what you summarized yourself. This is what you can remember. Some people call it cheat sheet. Then another thing I utilize, I know the simulator was TechCanvass. It was of great use to me. So, like, these are the recommended resources, and there are also tons and tons out there as well that you can utilize. Okay. So, what's the next step for you, or what next steps could be for you to, look out for all the recommended items we have on the previous page, use them to prepare for your exams. You can as well subscribe to our channel also. You check our uploads, like, share, comment, follow us, drop your questions or your requests, okay? And we wish you all the very, very best. Thank you.